What's something most men don't know they can do? Get breast cancer. Everyone has some amount of breast tissue naturally, and lower chances still aren't zero by any means. Leave her. Ask an employee where something is in the grocery store. One thing that many men may not know they can do is to seek out emotional support and counseling when dealing with mental health issues or life stressors. Many men feel like they need to tough it out and not show vulnerability, leading to untreated mental health issues and a lack of support. However, seeking out help can lead to improved mental health and overall well-being. Just go buy chocolate cake and no one can actually stop you. Fold your balls over the side of your dick so it looks like a sad hot dog. Ask other bros for help. Read the instructions for the furniture. Fit a whole field cucumber in their ass. Haggle at jewelry stores. Sometimes you might be able to get a cash discount or just maybe a lower price if you ask. I discovered this when I was a little short on a pendant I wanted to get, and the salesperson said we can make that work when I let them know how much I had. Say no. Receive compliments. Probably never had one my whole life. I'm 33. Kegel exercises. Multiple orgasms during sex. I think a lot men don't realize their value with women. Like, women are obviously not as horny as men in the sense that they're not always just desperately DTF. And when men are young, they interpret that as women don't care about hooking up with men at all. Like, I used to think I was ugly for years despite having all sorts of really desirable traits that I didn't even realize I had until my mid-20 seconds. Cry, ask for a hug, tell your friends you love them, talk to a therapist. I get manicures and pedicures with my wife all the time. What does enjoying your life have to do with being a man? Have honor, have acceptance, be patient, and love. That's being a man. I absolutely love how most of these comments are wholesome actual answers to the question, and the rest are just crazy generalizations people get from spending too much time on the internet. Lol. Hang out without getting drunk or high. I promise that item you're looking for in the fridge or pantry is sitting exactly where you are currently searching. Live a happy life without a woman. Be happy without getting laid. Girls do like you, bro, more so if you work on yourself. I spent a lot of time when I was young online, and especially in progressive spaces there is sort of this culture where men need to be humbled a lot. And you hear a lot of bad stuff about us, so you can easily take it to heart. Don't know how you like girls, want to date them, do the touchy stuffs with them, spend time. They want that too. You just need to put in a bit of effort to find them. FDS does not represent most girls. They don't know that they can have mind-numbing whole-body orgasms with no refractory periods. The magic of the prostate stimulation orgasm. It leaves me weak in my knees and just completely lost in bliss heaven. I just want to keep going and never stop. Regulars orgasms just feel lacking after you experience this for the first time. Lactate. Not letting people use them for financial gain. Saying no is the best thing I ever learned. Call out toxic behavior and establish healthy boundaries in a conversation. For example, when a Reddit thread goes from honest, well-meaning question and answers to borderline toxic trashing all men based on vague generalizations and personal experiences. I saw a video of a guy interviewing a drag queen, and she said that not only do you tuck your dick, but apparently you can push your balls inside you so the sack comes down empty. That shit fucking blew my mind when I found out LMFAO, although it sounds like a recipe for testicular torsion for me. Be friends with women. Change. It takes effort, and it takes commitment, but you can change something about yourself you don't like. Personally, mine was my attitude. I was a gigantic asshole until I realized I was tired of being angry all the time and hating myself, started Zoloft, and started giving myself time to think about things before I got mad. I still remember the first time my GF called me out on my better attitude. I realized I had changed a little, and it was working. A lot of guys think just because they aren't teenagers anymore they can't do things different. You can. It just takes time. I still work through some issues, and life isn't perfect, but I'm happier now than I was then. Might not be much, but I'll take it. Whatever the fuck we want. Want to cook? Practice cooking. Want to learn how to do a martial art? Sign up. Stop letting that I would but I need to. First get in the way. If you stumble, pick your ass back up and try again tomorrow. Attack the issue directly. Have female role models. Divided by most men if you ask them to name a woman that they admire and look up to that they don't know personally, aren't related to, they can't. You can cry. Save 15% or more by switching to Gecko. That when women are abusive, both physically and emotionally, in the relationship, and know the name-calling isn't just one of her quirks, nor is the berating she gives you over the smallest thing happening. You can file for divorce. seek help, go to mediation, etc. Her acting like a boss in the relationship and controlling every little thing you do is not normal. And what wives should do, it's give and take. Equally, no man should settle for an abusive relationship, and never should they stay for the sake of the kids. They're miserable too from all the fighting and bullshit. Being a dad even when the child isn't yours. My best friend's sister was falling on hard times and I just bought a 3-bedroom house. She calls me up one day and asks if her and her 6-year-old daughter could move until things get better. I said sure, no prob. They lived with me for 6 years while her mom went to college, worked, and saved up enough to buy a house. We were never romantically involved at the time and it never really crossed our minds. When her daughter turned 10, I saw her going through the same struggles I did at that age growing up without a dad. I wanted to do something I wish I had someone do for me, so I sat her mom down and asked if it would be okay if I became dad and took that role. It was a strange dynamic because her mom and I were just good friends and not romantically involved at the time, but I was willing to make it work. She said let's ask her daughter, so we did. My daughter is 23 now and I'm still dad and always will be. Craziest thing is, after sitting down one day last year, her mom and I got to talking and came to the realization that we've known each other for 30 years, lived together for 6, parted ways, lived our own lives, but we always came back together and were constants in each other's lives. We got married last November and never been happier. Sign a prenup. Men don't often recognize how easily they can break the confidence of their girl, or what their support means to her. Go to therapy. Be handy, just look it up on YouTube. Possibly consult a friend, buy a tool or two and you can do home repair, car repair or any DIY project you want instead of watching football. Suck themselves. Express platonic, non-familial affection. One day, they may be forced to decide if they want to shave their dick hairs. Laundry. Most of us are shocked to discover that we're actually physically capable of doing it. Walk up and just talk to women. Most of the time they'll give you a chance as long as it's in the right setting. Say no to a woman. P. Sitting down. Have more than 2 feelings. Know that it is okay to cry. Be vulnerable and open with others. Express emotions in a healthy manner. Going for regular health checks for our private parts. Stick shit up your ass and still be straight. God gave every cis dude a prostate, and you shouldn't waste it. Outrun nearly basically every animal. People seem to forget that when it comes to endurance, humans are at the top. We used to chase down our prey till they would pass out from exhaustion. Apparently a whole shitload of dudes on here like getting pegged and feel compelled to share their stories with internet strangers. I have plenty of female friends and is awesome. And yes, you might be attracted to them, but the more you befriend other women, you realize which ones are attracted to you and which ones are not by the way they act around you. Do they laugh at the dumbest shit you say? Do they tap you in the arm? Do they go for hugs? Are they down to go out only with you? To restaurants? To get ice cream? Then maybe they're attracted to you. If they don't do that, the congrats. You have a female friend and it's so nice to be able to be more emotionally open and vulnerable to a friend and not just your so. Be nice to women and still get laid. Be allowed to be or do things usually associated with being feminine, and there's nothing wrong with that. People need to focus on being themselves, as opposed to being concerned with gender norms. Kiss the homies goodnight. Invert your penis and push it inside your body. Go on, try it now. Roll your foreskin in ways, the opposite to rolling it back. Then just keep rolling. Your penis will just keep rolling and rolling in. Then you can push it inside your abdomen. Take your hands off for a second and look down and it will be gone. A few seconds later, it will slowly expand out again. Be single. Way too much of the male identity is having a girl. Own up to their mistakes. Have postpartum depression. I was a mess for several months after my first son was born. Thankfully, it didn't happen with my second. Make a woman orgasm after they've finished. Go to the doctor. It's an old story, but no, nobody will insult you for your lack of masculinity because you have a fucking knife in your foot. Not most men really, but incels fail to realize that if you have a personality beyond hating women, it's a lot easier to get a date, even if you're ugly. Source: I'm ugly, I'm married. Urinate with a hard one. Leave Reddit and never come back. Ask for help. You can feel. You can show emotions. I was born and raised to hide your emotions and to never show them. To be reserved. To feel as if I was weak if I showed any sign other than resilience. You'll feel much better if you let things out. Please talk to someone even though it may feel uncomfortable. You're never alone in your struggles. I promise you this. Peace. Sitting down. Seek mental health support. I have PTSD and a panic disorder. For around 6 years of my life, I've been adamant that I've had a heart condition. and it ruined my life on the daily. No doctor could tell me how I felt or that there was nothing wrong. I would end up in the hospital with chest pain, shortness of breath, all the symptoms of a heart attack, but nothing would show in my blood tests or ECGs. Lo and behold, it was a panic disorder that therapy fixed. I still have them, but they're much easier to manage. Seek help, fellas. It'll do you the world of good. It's okay to cry, hug often. Restore their foreskin if they've been circumcised. Are divided by foreskin restoration. The ducks in the park are free. You can just take them. Talk about their feelings. The dishes. Resist the urge and help their wives out so there's time for sexy time. Raise a child without the mom. I lost everything when she left. I just showed up for my boy no matter what. We bonded beyond anything I thought was possible. The system believes they belong with the mom. This doesn't mean you can't do it. Just dig no matter what forever. He's snuggling his girlfriend and puppy on the couch right now ... and playing Minecraft. Okay, I haven't done it perfectly. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and leave a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe to get more content like this. Also check out our other videos.